some other things that, well, one of the things I'd like to do is make a couple of referrals for you.
To somebody else?
Yeah, because, right now I just do the assessment process.
Okay.
And then you would be, if you were interested in working with a therapist, a clinical social worker,
So that's not you?
that wouldn't be me.
Okay,
Right now, I'm
okay.
just doing the intake assessment and making recommendations.
Okay.
So, it would be somebody else if you were interested in that.
Okay.
And that would be someone who, you could talk about things more in depth with, who might have some, I can give you a couple of ideas, but this would be someone who you'd be able to meet with more regularly and just talk about issues with, talk about the anxiety and the feeling down.
Okay.
I don't know if you'd be interested in that.
Well, is that here or is
It
that
would be here,
someplace
yes,
else?
it would be here. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
okay, all right. So I can make that referral. And sometimes, Jane, sometimes we find that there might be something medical going on, and I'm wondering if you would be open to just seeing your primary care doctor, just to, tell him or her about this, and just maybe have him do some tests, see if there is something going on, like thyroid, or, I'm not
Yeah.
sure, I'm not a doctor, but
Okay.
would you be interested and willing to follow through with something like that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Okay. And then if that doctor thought that, maybe some tests, or even sometimes medications can help a lot with anxiety. Usually it's best in combination with seeing a therapist.
Okay.
But, that'll be something you can kind of get some information further with your doctor and with the therapist that we refer you to. Okay.
So then I wouldn't see you anymore, but I would see whoever this other person is.
Yes, someone
Okay.
here at the clinic who's what we would call a long-term clinical social worker.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. All right. So, one of the things, too, I was wondering, you said that you haven't really been playing music. I'm wondering if you found that to be relaxing in the past, if that's something that would be helpful now.
I think I said that last week when I was here about, I used to just leave it out and
Yeah.
then I would, just pick it up and play, and I haven't,
Right.
I put it in the closet and I haven't had it out for a long time, but, I could set it out and
Do you think you would? I mean, if you wrote yourself a note, to
take it out of the
take it
closet
out of the
and say hello.
closet, put it on the stand in the living room or your
Yeah.
bedroom, wherever,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I know there's things I should be doing, and I just,
Right.
I'm not trying to be negative about anything.
Well, but
But it's sometimes it's
that's what you're struggling with, is the negativity and the negative thoughts, and that's what I think a therapist can really help you with. And I want to give you a couple of ideas. They kind of go along with the just breathing.
okay.
I don't know if you're aware of any of the negative thoughts that are going through your head at the time. Do you know what kind of things you're saying to yourself that are negative?
Well, I feel pretty inept at work.
Okay.
So I don't
Alright.
feel like I have, so it's probably not a lot of good positive.
Okay, so something
Same.
like I'm not good
well,
enough
that was
here.
stupid,
Or that was
kinda
stupid. Okay, all right. So, I wonder if there's something that, some way you could change a little bit of what you're thinking, or kind of like a mantra, or I don't know, do you know what a mantra is?
Yeah.
Something that you kind of repeat.
Say to yourself over
Yeah.
and over.
Yeah. Something that is a little bit more positive when you're feeling so negative. For example, like, is
that
there
was a mistake.
Okay. Okay.
Not stupid. Just
I'm
a
not
mistake.
stupid. That was a mistake. Okay. Good. That's a great way to reframe some negative thinking.
Yeah.
And sometimes it really helps. I mean, you've said you have some good friends, and was it Pat? Pat, who said that you would benefit from seeing someone.
Yeah.
What do you think Pat might say to you if she heard all these negative thoughts going on in your head?
What would she say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she'd say, you know, she's kind of sassy sometimes. She'd say, you know, that's not true.
Okay.
You know, that's not true. You just need to, you know.
Okay. Does that help?
When she says, you know, that's not true?
Yeah.
Not particularly.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's go
Like-
back to the drawing board then.
Well,
Okay.
you know, it's kind of like, I mean, it makes me stop and think
Okay.
when she says it.
Okay. So that makes.
So that part is, you know, so for
stopping
that
and
piece,
thinking.
for that
Okay.
piece of it to stop and, because I think what happens is like it's like automatic in my head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like sometimes I don't even realize
Yeah.
that it's going. It just, you know, the
Right.
worry is there, the, you know, and the kind of the,
Yeah.
can't let go, it's, you know, just like a tape.
Yes.
It just runs and runs. And so
Yeah.
when I have said things out loud around Pat and she'll say, well, you know, that's not true.
Mm.
Sometimes I just want to slug her. You know, it's
Okay.
like,
But
it makes me
because it feels
stop.
true.
yeah, because it feels true in the moment. But
Yeah.
it makes me stop and think about it. So for that
Mhm.
piece, it's like, and you know, and mostly it's right.
Yeah.
It's not true,
It's
but it
not
feels
true,
that
but
way.
it feels really true.
Yeah.
So, another idea I have, I mean, your ideas on changing your thoughts to, you know, rather than that was stupid, oh, okay, I made a mistake, I can always
Yeah.
fix it. That's a great idea. But I'm wondering if in your spiritual tradition, you've said that that's helpful. Is there any kind of a saying or a prayer or something like that that might be soothing or helpful when you catch yourself in this super negative mode?
Well, I used to have a little, that one of the elders gave me a little piece of wood that I carried that came from a special ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave me that piece of wood for a long time. I carried that in a little
Mhm.
pouch,
Okay.
and it was just a good reminder about, you know, what had
Okay.
happened at the time and what that meant, and
Uh-huh.
maybe that would work.
Yeah. What do you call that little pouch? Is there a word for it so I could put it here on the treatment plan, just to kind
No,
of make
it's
it
not
a
my
list of all
I
things?
actually used to put it in my medicine bag and
Okay.
carry it in my medicine bag. It's just
Okay.
this, they just, you know, it's
A
just.
token?
It's a token.
Okay. That's a great idea. I really like that. Okay. All right, so I've got a list of things here for recommendations.
Oh, you wrote them all down.
I did, yeah, and I will make a copy of this for you and make sure you have that.
Okay.
And I'll make sure that the therapist that I refer you to gets a copy of this too, so you're not having to repeat everything. You know,
Okay.
she or he will know. Do you have a preference for a male or female
I
therapist? or
prefer female.
Okay, so she will know. We'll make
Okay.
sure that that's that. So there's one, oh, so let's see. I'll get to the one last thing, but the list we have, paying attention to your caffeine and maybe reducing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe find something soothing to read, maybe a book on tape, something like that. You know, and one of the things I want you to know is we'll write down these ideas, and sometimes They're just like the start of something. You might get an even better idea
Okay.
that comes to you just by having a list like this. Maybe a daily meditation. You said you have some books at home. Maybe you still have some
Yeah.
that might be helpful. We'll make a referral to a therapist. Okay. Do you need a referral to a doctor for a medical examination, or do you have a primary care physician already?
Well, I need to call and ask because the guy who was my doctor for a long time retired right at
okay.
Christmas time, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Would you like
who-
some help with a referral for that? Or is that something you could do?
I can do that.
You can
I
do
can
that?
do that.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna get your guitar out,
Yeah,
make it more accessible,
Yeah.
see if that spurs
something.
some creative energy.
Okay.
You have some great ideas for changing your thoughts, okay, and carrying your token.
Yep.